One hot day, Diep and NHI went to the field to harvest beans to sell at the market. The hard work and harsh weather left Diep exhausted and had to be hospitalized. James immediately put aside all work to take care of the girl he loved. Every day, he cooked, taught, and took NHI to school. The image of a successful CEO becoming a family man moved everyone. That morning, as soon as the sun rose, Diep woke NHI up. Together, mother and daughter prepared their carrying baskets, put on their hats and went to the fields to harvest beans. Sweat had already soaked their backs, but the smiles of mother and daughter were still radiant. While picking beans, Diep taught NHI how to classify them: young beans to sell for a high price, old beans to keep for cooking. NHI happily nodded, carefully following her mother's instructions. The two worked, forgetting about time. By noon the sun was hot. Diep felt a bit dizzy but still tried to finish collecting to bring to the market in time to sell. In the afternoon, mother and daughter were busy at the market. Diep sold goods and smiled warmly at customers. Although tired, she still tried to sell all the beans she had picked. When it was time to pack up and leave, Diep's body began to tremble. Cold sweat poured out. On the way home, Diep staggered, his eyes blurred, and he fell to his knees. NHI was so scared that she screamed, "Mom, Mom, don't leave me." Luckily, a neighbor passing by quickly took the mother and child to the medical station. The bad news quickly reached James, who rushed to the hospital with a worried face. Seeing Diep lying there, her face pale, James choked up and held her hand tightly. "Don't worry. I'm here. I'll take care of everything." Later, the doctor diagnosed that Diep had a bad cold and was physically weak due to overwork under the sun. James felt regretful for letting Diep shoulder so much work alone. During the days Diep was in the hospital, James hardly left the room. He personally wiped her sweat, fed her porridge spoon by spoon, and changed the towel on her forehead when she had a fever. Every night, when Diep slept, James sat in the hospital hallway, his eyes tired but determined. He thought to himself, "I will not let you suffer alone anymore." During the day, James cooks and brings food to the hospital for Diep. He also takes the time to teach NHI, help her with her homework and take her to school. Neighbors were surprised to see the once busy CEO now a man who takes care of the house, and even nodded in admiration. NHI was moved and hugged James. "Uncle James, I love you. I just hope Mom gets well soon so our whole family can have dinner together." Hearing that, James's eyes suddenly blurred. One night, Diep woke up to find James asleep on the chair, still holding her hand. Diep gently called, "If you're tired, go home and rest." "I'm better." James shook his head. "No. I'll stay here. I don't want to miss another moment with you." Diep's tears rolled down. She felt the love and sincere care that James had for her. A few days later, when Diep was able to return home after being discharged from the hospital, it was just starting to rain lightly. James carefully helped her into the room, pulled out a chair for her to sit, and gently said, "You rest. Let me clean up and cook." Diep looked at him, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You work so hard. And your job?" James smiled and shook his head. "The job can be redone. But NHI and I are the only ones." That night, James went to the kitchen to cook. The sound of knives and cutting boards clanking made NHI run into the kitchen curiously. Uncle James really knows how to cook. I thought only Mom could cook. James smiled and patted her head. Just wait and see. Tonight I will make your mom's favorite soup. NHI happily ran out to show off to Diep. Mom Diep, Uncle James is cooking tonight. It must be delicious. Diep lay on the bed listening to her daughter chattering. Her heart warmed. She never thought that one day she would have a man who was both successful and willing to roll up his sleeves to take care of the housework like that. Dinner that night was simple. Just vegetable soup, some braised meat and a plate of stir-fried beans. But for Diep, it was the best meal in a long time. James picked up a piece of meat for her. Eat a lot. You need to have strength to get well soon. NHI, you should eat well too. NHI nodded, happily ate. While eating, NHI told stories about school. The story was filled with laughter, dispelling the tense days before. In the following days, James arranged his work so that he could be home more. Early in the morning, he took NHI to school. And in the afternoon, he picked her up. Seeing James waiting at the gate, NHI ran up to him with a smile. Uncle James, today the teacher praised me for being good. James smiled gently and patted her head. You did very well. I will give you a small gift when I come back tonight. In the evening, James also sat with NHI to study. One day when NHI did math wrong, he patiently explained each step. It's okay. You can do it again from the beginning. If you make a mistake, I will correct it. Like you make mistakes in everything. But the important thing is to correct it in time. Diep sat on the bed watching that scene, her heart filled with happiness. One day, the neighbors came to visit and saw James cleaning the house. They were surprised. Oh, a CEO can cook and take his children to school. It's rare for anyone to do that. James just smiled. It's nothing. Taking care of family is also important. Ma'am. That night, when NHI was asleep, Diep gently said, James, I know you have sacrificed a lot for me and NHI. I'm afraid that one day you will regret it. James took her hand, looked deep into her eyes. I have never regretted it. And I will never regret it. I'm just afraid that one day I won't be able to take care of you like this anymore. Diep could not hold back her tears. She leaned on his shoulder. Thank you for coming into my life. A few weeks later, when Diep's health had fully recovered, James decided to take Diep and NHI for a walk one afternoon. They stopped by the bean field, where Diep and NHI had worked hard to make a living. Diep stopped, gently stroked the lush green bean plants, her eyes shining with emotion. Do you remember? Last time I was here too. I made you faint. Diep smiled softly, but there was still a bit of obsession in her eyes. James held her hand tightly. I remember, and I promise from now on I will not let you suffer alone anymore. Whenever you need me, I will be here. NHI trotted ahead, laughing loudly. Mom Diep, Uncle James, next time let's harvest beans together. I want to pick like you too. James laughed and patted Nye's head. Okay, but you have to be the best picker. The three of them laughed loudly in the field. Their laughter echoed far and wide in the afternoon wind, light and peaceful. In the following days, life gradually stabilized. James began to balance his work. He arranged his time reasonably so that he could both run the company and take care of his family. Every morning, he still took NHI to school. Every evening he gathered with Diep, cooked and cleaned with her. One day, When the three of them were having dinner, NHI suddenly asked, "Uncle James, will you stay with me and Mom Diep forever?" James paused for a moment, then smiled gently. "Yes, I promise to stay with Mom and me forever. We are a family, right?" NHI shouted happily and thanked Uncle James.